Hello everybody, this is John Dixon, Education Services Specialist for Navy Recruiting District St. Louis. The purpose of this video is to help recruiters develop the number and the quality of their COIs. This is one of those areas which is difficult for many recruiters. Some recruiters shudder at the very thought of sitting down for 15 to 20 minutes with one counselor, much less a group of educators. This video is for all recruiting personnel, especially newly assigned recruiters. LPOs and DLCPOs should use this as part of their training program. Why do we even need COIs? How do we know who we want as our COIs? Are all COIs created equal? What are some strategies to develop the COIs once we've identified them? Finally, what do we say to them? What topics would we talk about? Well, we're about to find out. The bottom line is this. When farmed effectively, the COI becomes a partner in our recruiting efforts. They can act as mini recruiters for you. For example, they can positively influence school policy. How many of you have schools where you are restricted to 1 or 2 visits per year? Well, maybe that coach wants you to come in and talk to his students, or that science teacher wants to accept your invitation for a nuke presentation. Or maybe that counselor has a lot of pull in that school and would be willing to talk with the decision maker on your behalf. Or that counselor is the decision maker. COIs often provide us with leads. How many of you had someone at the school call or come up to you and say, "Hey, I have this kid who's highly motivated and they want to talk with a recruiter and I thought about you first." Happens all the time. But you need to develop them as COIs. COIs can and do influence other staff, and they can introduce you to other staff. I use that strategy all the time. If I felt that I wowed a counselor during a presentation, I'll ask if I can talk with the other counselors as well, or anyone else for that matter. And then how many times have you needed a will grad letter or an official transcript for an applicant who's going on deck the next day only to be told that the school policy is that they're mailed out and it takes 3 to 5 business days? If you took time to develop that registrar as a COI, most of the time they'll likely help you out with that transcript much faster. But keep in mind that although it seems to us that they should be able to get, what we need very quickly. I mean, it doesn't take that long to print off a transcript or to fill out a will grad letter. These people are extremely busy, and going to them the last minute should be the exception and not the rule. Everyone in your school is a potential COI, good or bad. After all, COI stands for Center of Influence. So this is a short list. Now let me talk about counselors for a minute. In most schools, the military liaison is a counselor, and we use them, which we should. But what about the other counselors? And what about their students? In other words, we shouldn't just use our one counselor as the sole person we talk to set up table visits. The counselor is the person who talks to all students about not just their grades, but about college and careers. And it doesn't matter if they split their kids up by last name or by grade. After all, everyone will be a senior someday. At least most of them will. So we need to develop all counselors. STEM instructors, that's science, technology, engineering, and math, are important because it is in their classrooms where we generally find the highly qualified prospects. This is especially true in the advanced classes such as calculus and honors classes. It's here where NROTC applicants grow. Registrars, we already talked about that. And then there's everyone else. Remember that everyone is a potential COI, whether we're talking about art class or English. After all, English majors join the Navy too. Now that we've identified our COI, how do we develop them? Contact, connect, educate, and follow up. We'll talk about them each one at a time. Contact. Make a goal for yourself each time you visit a school, such as, I will meet 2 new COI prospects today. That's what I do. This can be done in many ways. For example, you just finished meeting with the principal. Ask him or her if they will introduce you to their assistant principal or their staff in their admin office. If you're a new recruiter, ask for a short tour of the administration. Bottom line is that it's easy as exchanging business cards and following up with them. Also, you can attend a game. Football, basketball, doesn't matter. Just show up. You can wear, if you can't wear a uniform, at least you can wear a Navy t-shirt. Develop several COIs. My number would be 5 to 10 depending on the size of the school. And don't be nervous about the number of COIs I'm talking about here. COIs come in many different types, and you utilize them in different ways. The counselor for direct leads and improved access. The registrar won't necessarily supply you with leads, but will help you with transcripts. The teacher can help you with transcripts, and maybe not with overall access, but they might be able to give you access to their students through presentations, and they may provide you with leads. Connect. Be friendly. Ask questions. I have a handout for that. Listen to them. Give a brief bio about yourself. Tell them about your experiences in the Navy, and just as importantly, what are you going to do when you leave the Navy? Find common goals, such as student success. Counselors, teachers, and administrators love to hear that and express a desire to assist the school. Become a partner to them as well as having them become a partner for you. Educate. First of all, meet with multiple educators. It's generally better to sit down with 4 counselors than with 1. I don't like to repeat myself. Remember that most educators have no clue what the Navy is really all about. Many still think that the Navy is for students who can't handle college or don't have anything else going on. Many think we are just there to get as many people to join the Navy as we can, and that we're willing to do just about anything to do just that. So it's up to you to introduce and demystify the Navy for them. Sell it. Tell them who our market is. Tell them why we are STEM-centric. In other words, tell them who we are, and also tell them who we're not. We're not that recruiter who's going to go in there and break the rules or be aggressive or lie to their students. Then discuss the purpose of your visit, whether it's NROTC, STEM, education, whatever the case may be. And then close by thanking them for their service. They are educating the future of our country, after all. Tell them that you appreciate that. I promise you, they'd love to hear it. Follow up. Send a short thank you email as soon as practical, and make a COI database that will allow you to quickly email groups of educators or all of your educators. Send short emails, either short informational, such as a link to the BUDS website, or a welcome back from summer break note, etc. Continue to grow your existing COIs and plant new ones. Do not ignore them once you have them. Strategies. You use different strategies for developing your COIs depending on their position. For example, before I go to a school to meet with a football coach, I get to know a few things about their record and what they did last year, and who are they playing this week. With a counselor, I might talk about college and where he or she graduated from, or I might talk about the unemployment rate, which is a great segue into a discussion about jobs in the Navy and our educational opportunities. The next slide will show you some of the topics that you might find useful. Another way to cement a positive relationship in a school is to invite a counselor to speak at a DEP event. A good topic would be the importance of continuing education. I promise you that if a counselor sees the quality of the kids at your event, it will have an impact. The bottom line is this: know your audience, know your school, and always, always, always show genuine interest in the school and the students. Now, this is a list of just some of the topics that you might want to talk about. You by no means have to be experts in all of them, but many of these you should already have a good working knowledge of and be able to discuss with educators. Another good resource to use is my top 11 questions to ask COIs and my top 10 reasons to allow recruiters into your school. I've sent those out a couple of times. If you need a list, again, just contact me. This presentation is not meant to be a cure-all for all situations. Sometimes schools and educators just don't get it, and they never will. But in most schools, these strategies can and do work. Sometimes one COI can make all the difference. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me.